first? Ladies. Who's first? Ladies. Who's first? Lady. What time is it? It's time for the ladies. 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 It's the Ladies First Chit-Chat crew. It's time for the ladies. You want. Be great. Speak what you want. Be great. Speak what you want. Be great. And we're up first. Bonjour, unboxed. Bonjour, unboxed. Bonjour, unboxed. And we're up first. Yes, ladies. That's dope. Yes, ladies. That's dope. Yes, ladies. That's dope. And we're up first. It's time for the ladies. Chit-Chat crew. One time for the ladies in the house. Two time make the people scream and shout. Lachelle, Chandra, Crystal with Nikki. Unboss, Edmay, and Nikki. Hey, 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 hey. L-A-D-I-E-S, I-E-S, I-E-S, L-A-D-I-E-S, and we're up first. L-A-D-I-E-S, I-E-S, I-E-S, L-A-D-I-E-S, and we're up first.
Hey.
Hey.
I'm feeling real frisky today. I don't know why.
I wonder if it's all this red, honey.
Maybe it's all this red. Welcome everybody to the Ladies First Chit-Chat crew, where we honor the voice of the everyday woman. Lachelle, Chandra, Crystal, and Nikki. Hey, what's up, y'all? How you doing?
Hey, gorgeous.
Hi, gorgeous.
Y'all looking a little redder than me. Y'all look redder than me. This is really bright, but y'all look redder than me.
You're really giving me real Michelle Obama today.
Yes, very, very sophisticated.
Yes,
that's a vibe because we love her.
Yes,
I
mean,
you're really giving me like Michelle Obama today. Like,
I know.
Yes.
Well, there it is. That's our first lady, ain't it?
Yes. It sure is.
One time for the ladies in the house. Hey, two time make the people scream and shout.
Michelle.
Michelle.
I love it.
Let me I gotta say hi. Hi, Brenda Braxton. Oh my gosh. The legend herself is watching our show, y'all. That's a possible get there. Okay, Miss Brenda, we will be in touch. Oh my goodness. Hi, everybody. How you doing today? We are waiting for our special guest. I want to bring her on now, but I'm gonna wait just a little bit. I haven't done this in a while. How y'all doing?
Very well.
Doing good.
I'm doing well. I went and worked out this morning, and I am trying to keep my face looking this way because the rest of my body is like, but I'm well.
Well, you look well.
Looking 20.
Your face looks vibrant. The lipstick looks great with the red sweater. Yes. And you spoke to your children this morning.
I did, and they are full on into their Valentine's Day activities. Yes. One of my children has taken his girlfriend away for the weekend, and the other one is taking his girlfriend out for lunch, a Valentine's Day lunch, I'm sure with all kinds of treats and surprises. So I'm quite proud of them. and excited that they're enjoying it.
You should be. Very nice.
Yes, Mom. Nikki, where are you?
Softball season has begun. So I am in Florida watching my daughter play and her team play, and I'm really having a nice time. It's great. Softball season gives me something to look forward to. I enjoy this time, and I'm going to take it all in for the next couple of years. So Red was right on target to support the team.
Oh, how's the weather? How's the weather?
The weather's great. I mean, I'm always prepared. I thought it got really cold Friday evening. So I had a blanket. I had a couple of layered shirts and sweatshirts on. But in general, like right now, it's really nice. I think it's supposed to get up to 80 today.
Oh, lovely.
Wow.
Yeah, so really nice. But I'm having a great time. Oh, must I mention, we have really progressed. They were selling mimosas this morning. I tried to keep it long enough so I could come on this show today with my mimosa, but trust and believe I got a mimosa.
Yeah,
come through.
I love it. First Lady, how you doing this morning?
You are silly. I'm fine. Red does something to you. It just wakes you up. You know what I mean? So it was nice putting on a bright colored table. It's nice. It's supposed to be nice here in New Jersey, New York today. Nice and sunny. January was rough, man. Like that. It was just dark. So it just feels like, whoop, like spring is coming. See my yellow pillows?
Yes.
I just need some, like,
spring is here. It's coming.
It's spring. Yeah, it's coming. I see it.
I love it.
And how are you?
Oh, me?
Yes, you.
I'm good. I'm feeling real giddy this morning.
You looking it.
Let me tell y'all real quick. So y'all know I teach my class in the mornings, right? And so I have three of my special ladies, Miss Nanette and Miss Elizabeth and Miss Pat, aka my mom, on. And they were talking about, all excited about today's show. And that was like, yeah, Nikki, I'm going to eavesdrop about sex today. And Mom was talking, and Miss Elizabeth was talking, and they're like all giddy. And Miss Elizabeth said, yeah, Miss Pat, you make sure you tell them whippersnappers what it's about. And they just had me laughing and hilarious. And I just thought it was so great. So I think that's such a great intro into what we are doing today. It's Valentine's Day weekend. And ever since we started back in 2020, we have had the pleasure of having this amazing special guest come on with us. She started off with our very first Valentine weekend show, right? Didn't she?
Did.
Yeah, yes, and then we brought her back, and she just enlightened us about sex. And not just about sex, about our own personal power that we have within it. And when we were talking on Thursday, I know a lot of you guys got our emails, and we were saying, believe it or not, women see sex as a chore, a requirement for their relationship, or a weapon to use or withhold from their partner. Well, guess what, y'all? It's a new day. It's a new day. Today, we are talking about sex and self-care, therapy, wellness, life, love, magic. Ooh, I love that. It makes me feel a little chill. Magic and so much more. So get ready. It's going to be a juicy conversation. Get your juicy question ready, because Leidy is going to answer them. I want to introduce you guys to our amazing, one of our LFCC favorites. She's a sex educator, sex coach, and so much more, and a new mom. Y'all, can we give it up for Lady Dahiana and her sexy self?
Hey. He's early, okay?
Oh, look at that smile.
He's yummy.
There is love right there.
He's early. Hola.
Hola.
I've come full circle, I think, with every visit. It was the before.
Yes. I know.
This is what happened with all the sex I was having.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Pumpkin.
Lady, before we get started, tell everybody what's been going on with you. Tell everybody.
This is the exhausted mom laugh.
I know it.
So Zion arrived, and it has been a beautiful gift because I've been forced to practice everything that I teach on a different freaking level. So in the middle of overwhelm, hormones, I've been really prioritizing my intimacy more than ever. So as difficult as it has been, I am grateful because I've had to pull out the whole toolbox, everything I've ever learned. And it's been quite a journey. It's also been pretty intense. And the moms know. But yeah, I'm happy. I'm still horny and I'm having great sex. So let's talk about it. Shauna, you came at the right time.
I know. Shawty came right at the right time. Shawty's here. What's up, baby?
I was like, let me in. I've been sitting here for about 10 minutes. Just let me in already.
She sent me a private message. She said, I'm in the waiting room. I was like, it's that you were below the thing. But Shawty,
it's all right. It's all right.
Started. I'm excited. I love what you said, though. Lady, I love that you said, I'm horny and I'm still having sex. Why? I love that so much. Why sometimes for people, us, I'm going to say women.
I was going to say, who is people?
Women.
Oh, okay.
When we hear the word sex, sometimes we get giddy. Sometimes we get uncomfortable. Or we're like, do I do that? Do I talk about it? Why is sex such a taboo? Why is it such a taboo? Is it the way we were brought up, society? Because men are like, sex. Yes. Why with women? Why is it such a thing like, ooh, okay, should we talk about it? Why should we talk about it? Should we not talk about it? In your experience?
Yeah, I'm going to blame it all on the patriarchy. I think it has been the biggest weapon used against the feminine to repress the sexuality. It is so powerful. It is so infinite. That there has been a good hardcore job done at brainwashing most of us from the moment that we come to this world, that it is something that is taboo to be repressed to because it is our biggest fuel. It is our infinite power. And the more women that you keep repressed, actually, the more you keep that gold mine kind of like close. So, and this is not to blame anyone. I think it has been going on for so long that we don't even know when or how, but that's why I feel like it's important for us to put the stake on the ground and be like, enough is enough. This is about self-care. This is about, tapping into your confidence, to your pleasure, to the wild in you, to the messy in you, to the chaotic, to the feminine. There's so much in sex that can be healing. To me, it is sacred. It is one of the most sacred things in the world. It is how I made a beautiful human. So yeah, as much as I'm saying it's about the patriarchy, I almost think that is not as important to know how we got here, but it's like enough is enough. And let's okay, and now what are we going to do about this now that we know that is something that has been used against us? Women use it against each other, right? Oh, she's so slutty. So I've been, especially lately, I've been putting some pretty hardcore posts out there, letting my sexual side out. Like I have the romantic, sensual, energetic and all that. And then I have the raunchy, dirty, wild, just come and fuck me kind of energy, And I know that for a long time, that's not respectable. That's not what mature, sophisticated women do. So for me, it's like, can we mix in sophistication and raunchy and dirty and loving and pure and everything together? Because we are all of it. And I am just sick and tired of living without a limb, my slutty limb. It gives me my superpowers and I'm wearing it like a badge of honor. the horny, hungry pussy badge of honor.
And you should, like I really was thinking about this coming into this show today, about it's our duty to do our duty for ourselves, right? The exploration of even this. I'm going to start here. The understanding and the importance of maybe it's self-pleasure and exploring yourself, because in that you're defining your own personal desires, right? And there's strength in understanding how you achieve reaching that sort of joy and delivery on what you want to have, right? And I say this because I was thinking about how we just did, I know, like I'm going left and then right, but we just did this whole thing on vision boards and really tapping into the things that you want, right? And as I started to think about us coming into this show, it hit me, I think late last night and this morning, it really did, that here's an opportunity for us as women to, if you haven't done it at this point, to stop and do it, right? To really self-explore and to pull some sort of strength from inside of you in a different way that helps you on that journey of understanding what you desire and how to achieve it.
And can I just jump in right there too? That is perfect. But here's the thing. Those desires are not really attributed in the for women, say, in the lifetime, right? It seems like it's focused on young, or it's focused on so Leidy, what I would like you to do or answer, in line with what Nikki just said about her mom and some of the women who are a little bit more seasoned than us, talk about this aspect of life for women in like 60s, 70s, 80s, their pleasure, their sexuality, their, like, I think there's something about like our cultural society makes it feel like, okay, that I don't think that light switch goes off, right? Yeah. Or does it?
The young girls
talk about that. Huh?
Yeah, I think the first distinction is that I want to talk about women, not just women of 60 or 50 or 17. We are women forever.
Say it again.
There is no like that. That's when we get polarity. Your 30s, your 40s, it's holistic. Your soul exists from now until whoever knows. We don't even know what happens. So the first thing is that we should not separate young, old, and age brackets. And I think at the core of sex and sexuality is the art of receiving. And I think we're so hung up on doing and getting our worth from how much we do, how much we give, that at its core is, can you allow yourself to receive? I don't care how old you are, how long you've been doing it, whether you're starting now or tomorrow. Can I receive the ultimate expression of my pleasure? Can I give myself permission to do that? So did I give you a little? Yes. And actually, now that I have a child, I'm thinking, wow, the older we get, the more we deserve, because we are doing a lot.
Yeah.
Now more than ever. So for me, it's evolving and it's compounding. I want more the older I get, and especially the more I do. It's like my gift.
But I also, when you said allowing yourself to receive, I feel like that goes right with self-care. Allowing yourself. I know, as you think like, oh, I got to do this and I got to give this and I got to make sure, this person's okay and this person's okay. And I love what you're saying. Give yourself a permission to just receive and make sure that you're okay. I think we're always giving, and a part of the whole self-care is making sure that you're okay as well. You know,
Nikki, I'm gonna challenge you a little bit. I don't want to be okay. I want to be like mind-blowing, thriving, like fireworks, like okay, good, great. I'm really like beyond it now. I want to literally like be in awe of how much pleasure I can receive and then surprise myself over and over and over again.
Yes.
Until I die.
In pleasure.
In pleasure.
But lady, how do we do that? What do we get to do to get that? To get that mind-blowing every day over and over. So what do we get to do?
Yes.
Is this daytime television?
Yes, it is. Daytime, nighttime, anytime is the right time, honey.
I know. I have a very sexual language, so you have to like. I'm not apologizing for it. I'm giving you a little bit of warning. I feel, now I've stepped in a lot of business coaching, a lot of mindset coaching, and I'm doing really big things from within, and it's affecting my life. And I see the level of intention that it takes to make anything mind-blowing. Whether it's the show with your vision boards, whether it's practicing, whether it's working out, Nikki, whether it's getting a trainer and showing up every day. And I think I've said this before. The first thing is deciding that is something that you're going to work on. There has to be an intention. I don't think I can just wake up and expect that I am going to have mind-blowing sex with a 4-month-old and like exhausted. I need to wake up with the intention that I am open to whatever few minutes of pleasure I have every day. So what I recommend is you start microdosing. How can I make this? And this is something that I'm learning with my business coach. How can I make this 1% more pleasurable? So what is the next easiest step that we can take? Because what happens is we get so excited, like on Sunday when you're about to do a diet, and then you get overwhelmed on Monday, and then you don't start. But, okay, there's a million reasons why we don't do what we're supposed to be doing. So start with an intention that is going to take effort every single day for something to grow. I don't think anyone here has accomplished anything without massive freaking action. Right. And sex is the only area where we're just like, next season in the fall or in the spring, or when I get a lover, or when we can talk, when we can sleep. And there's just a million excuses, not to make anyone wrong, but we have to catch our bullshit that we're expecting mind-blowing things from a place that we're not really cultivating.
Right.
It's interesting because you know what that brought up for me? I think about, like, we talked last week about the photo, I think it was Mickey Taylor posted, of her body, like her post-baby body with her soft skin and, all of the stretch marks and the whole nine. And it made me think, it's like we use our bodies as a weapon against our pleasure, because we're like, I need to look a certain way. I want you. But if my kid needed something, I could be 2 pounds, 500 pounds, cellulite, rock hard, solid, wouldn't matter. I'm going to show up and get my kid or my mama what they need. But when I need this, I put all of these parameters, right? This is what we do. We're like, oh, well, maybe when I tone up, like you said, I'll get to it this summer. This summer, I'll be sexy. This summer. No. F all of that.
I'm going to show you my soft belly right now because I had a 6-pack and it's not. So just let's honor that right now. There is all this going on.
Amen. Exactly. Yeah.
But I am choosing to love this now. I cannot wait for later. It's like, this is sexy right now. This is.
I mean, not for nothing, like it or not. I mean, especially when you have a moment to think about it, and you think about what you just said, Lachelle. I mean, like Lizzo's posting of, herself being in her natural space, is a message, and that's the message she wanted to deliver, is loving yourself, right? And loving yourself the way you are, right? Because to your point, we do put up, like, you don't feel as sexy. You allow yourself not to feel as sexy, and as if someone doesn't find you desirable, even though they may be acting as if they find you desirable, right? But you yourself are now allowing yourself to be be in that space with them, because you are not your picture perfect self, right?
Yeah. But Nikki, when I think of the best sex I've ever had, it's not picture perfect. It's like wild and messy and
right. Right.
And
that's what made me think of her posting of herself, because I'm guilty of that. Like, every other year was like I was putting on 70 pounds, taking off 70 pounds, right? And when I had that weight on, it's myself that's like, ooh, like I'm not feeling as sexy. But looking at her and looking at, regardless of anything else, just if you saw the picture and didn't know who she was, just appreciating that she's appreciating, or you believe she's appreciating how she looks and feels, is applaudable in terms of some of the ways that we put ourselves in a space where we can't appreciate who we are as we are to enjoy such pleasures.
Yes.
Someone else is saying to you,
jump in real quick. Let me jump in real quick and let me
Come on, Juicy.
Come on, Juicy, with the belly. Come on.
Listen, so going back to when Leidy first started, and she was saying like she's been posting a lot, like in a different facet for herself as well, like her slutty side and all that. But listen, Linda, listen. I follow you, I'm always like, girl, what's happening? What are you doing? And it's just so interesting because I think background and like how you were raised and like what you were exposed to sexually as a child, either, growing up from your parents or, mentors or whatnot, is so taboo that even as a grown ass woman, I'm like, what is she writing on here? Like, girl, where your mama at? What's she writing on here? Like,
I feel it too before I post. I have like,
yeah, but it's like making me like feel like, I don't know. It's like sometimes just with anything that is kind of like taboo or you're not exposed to a lot of, it's always like an initial like shock, like what the heck? But I'm saying I feel that for any age bracket though, like people that are younger than I am, my age and older, like if you're not exposed to it at all, if that's not something that you've been in your teachings and all that kind of stuff, it's always going to be a shock factor when you are trying to move into that direction. So I was just like looking at your post and like reading your post and like, a couple weeks ago when you did the kissing challenge, I was just like, we don't even think about stuff like that. Just something as simple as like kissing your partner. Like that can be a daily pleasurable facet that we don't even tap into because we get into the rigmarole of just like daily behavior and like, moving along and like, you just, oh, hey babe, kiss on the cheek, kiss on the lips and move on by your business, hug. I yelled at my wife yesterday. I was like, how dare you leave the house and not kiss me? She was like, I kiss you every day. And I'm like, do you?
Yeah. And
but it is, we do kiss and we do embrace each other, but it's never intentional.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's because of children and because of life and because of everything we're doing, we do have a regular programmed, event, regular scheduled programming that happens every day that before, like, even with you, Chrissy, I don't know if you can attest to this, but like before Mike leaves the house to go do whatever, he's gonna come and greet you and then he's gonna, kiss you on the forehead or kiss you on the lip or whatever and then go by his business. But it's just something about watching this challenge that you did. It was just like the intentionality behind like bringing something as small as a kiss to make you feel fully pleasured in that.
I was gonna say, what was the kissing challenge?
It was literally like she was like, I give you 5 kiss wishes tell me how you want to be kissed, instead of just a kiss on the lip or the kiss or that might have been the type of kisses. But her husband was just kind of like, surprise me, and so it was just like, instead of it being very passive, pass and go, I'm kissing my partner, this is who I love, and I'm just embracing you in the moment. It was just like intentional time, like, I'm going to take these few minutes and I'm going to really kiss you, and I want you to feel me feeling you kiss me back, and like that type of thing. And it could have been a kiss on the neck. It was like kisses on the lips. It was kisses other places. It was kisses, and wherever. And it was just like the small differentiation between intention and not, and just,
intention and microdosing, as she said.
Yeah. Just like, wow.
That's a word right there, that microdosing.
Microdosing.
Lady, you see it in action, right? Just that example itself was an example of both.
Lady, I'm so glad Chandra brought up the kissing challenge question. I love that your lover, y'all back home, lady calls her husband her lover. I don't know, that turns me on so much. She calls him her lover. And you guys seem to be on the same page. You're not, like, the communication between the two of you is so powerful. Can you speak to that? Has it always been like that? Is it something, like you said, microdosing is something you got to work on every day? And tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. It's something that we're intentional. This is not something that just happens to us. Like, every day, we're very intentional with being very honest. And honesty, sometimes it's really difficult, even with the people that you love. So, a lot of people say, oh, your relationship is easy. No, every day we're choosing to show up for each other and for ourselves, and to the point of the kissing challenge, I have a theory that kissing is the first thing that goes on autopilot, and it reflects a little bit what's happening in your sex life. You tell me what you think about that.
Say it again, lady.
That kissing is the first thing, because I work with accumulation. I think nothing is a problem on day one. So for me, it's about catching the little things every day. What seems insignificant is going to turn into a monster. And that's how I do maintenance. That's how my workouts are too. Like, okay, 7 minutes every day, 20, very manageable. So I feel like kissing is one of the first areas that goes on autopilot. There's a lot of like hi and goodbye pecks, but do you make out randomly on a Wednesday afternoon with your lover without having sex, for example?
Yes. And more yes. 100% yes.
I'm loving the everyday mom thing here. As we're having this conversation, I'm loving it, lady.
Okay, this is what's happening.
This is real life.
This little fit right here. Callie's over here talking about, can you please bring me a hat, mommy, please?
This is real life,
So I do the kissing challenge a lot with Zion. I want Zion to see us kissing.
Yes.
That not to be something that's weird or disgusting or inappropriate. Like, for him to see, hey, mom and dad make out with you there.
Yes.
I love. Lady, what can you tell our single women out there? People that I have a friend that just text messaged me and she says, Nikki, what about the single ladies? What's the advice you have with the single ladies about sex and making sure they're receiving and they have pleasure? What is your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I think the beautiful thing about being single is that a lot of times when we're in a relationship, we're like, oh, my partner or my lover, or like there's this like thing that you have to negotiate or involve someone else in. When you're single, there's so much time and energy that you can spend on yourself. So I think cultivating a beautiful self-pleasure practice Verdad, but why no one's talking to Zion over here?
Hi, Zion.
Why no one's asking him any questions?
Hi, Zion. We're asking you questions too, baby.
This is juggling right here. So I feel like being single is just like a beautiful space to like get to know yourself, to like build that foundation, to make it super juicy. So by the time someone else comes in, the turn on is already there. I'm not waiting for anyone to come and save me or turn me on. Like I'm turned on, and then you come and you just compliment. You're just a little cherry on my beautiful, luscious chocolate cake.
Yes.
But that goes back to what we were saying before, what I was saying before. You know, it's an opportunity to self-explore and understand your desires and know how to meet them, right? And being able to guide, even if it's just yourself, right?
Yeah, that's right. I feel like as a young love candidate, like been with my partner for over 20 years, like we've been together forever. It's having time to yourself and like to be single, to really explore what do you do and do not like, really helps navigate you in a relationship. Because being together, like I think, I don't want to say it's negative, but like, I don't know another word to put there, but like the downside, I guess, of being with someone so young is that you're really learning yourself at the same time as learning them. You know, it's not a lot of times separate, you know, and so I think single people have an advantage.
I'm the only single one in the group.
Hey.
So I have some things to say.
And you the one that be getting
money, because a single girl needs to have her love money.
She has self-care, honey.
I have self-care in this department. But this is what I'm going to say. These are the things that have crossed my mind, and this is good. This is for the single people. One of the things that I've learned is that, you know, I was single, I was married, I was divorced, I was single. But what I've learned about women, single women, is there is this mind frame about how the position you need to be in sort of emotionally to engage in sex, which for me is bullshit, because sex is the emotion for me comes with the activity. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like we have this thing where we're like, well, we need to meet a nice guy and we need to get to know him, and we put all of these parameters before our pleasure. And I learned that in a lover relationship where I made an intention, as Leidy says, an intention that I was never going to deny sex. Changed my whole damn life. Because I was in saying that I'm never going to deny sex, even if it's like, I'm not feeling you. You're getting on my nerves. If I feel like sex or you feel like sex, we having sex. Because what I learned was I was prioritizing my pleasure. And I wasn't putting all of these things. The house got to be clean. I got to feel like you was nice to me today. I got like all of this stuff that women get taught have to be in play. And I think single women are missing an opportunity with self-care and learning themselves and making themselves, like Leidy said, turn yourself on. But we're also missing an opportunity to share that with someone, because we have all of these lists in our mind about the way things need to be for us to tap into that like juicy, wild, messy, sophisticated, loving, sexy side. It's a myth. I have
labels learned and how we have to manage ourselves.
Yeah.
We have to manage ourselves so you're not labeled, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, we label ourselves, and then societal messages or how we grew up, or, you know, kind of co-sign on this is what, I think we talked about this before. This is what good girls do. This is what, you know, quote unquote bad girls do. But what I think is interesting about all of this is when we were meeting Leidy, we were talking about wellness and the fact that sex and sexuality is a gift. And I think the teaching and the verbiage around it has to be really like, it has to improve, because it is wellness. You do feel better. Like it's not about like it's about what I need and connecting to what I need. Because culturally, and I don't know, like I'm a Black woman, I was raised by Black women, and I'm just telling you how it goes down. It's like all of these things have to be done for, and it is about your house being clean. And it is about, we don't want no dishes in the sink. And it is about running around and doing all these other things. And there's no conversations about yourself and what you need, even if that's a manicure, even if it's, I don't think that putting yourself first is really all of that prevalent. I'm speaking in generalizations, which is not cool, but you know what I mean? Like culturally, I feel like there's a lot of like, you got to be doing all this work and then you're a good woman. I didn't get married until I was 32. I met my husband at 31. So I had the opposite experience, Shani. I had all of my 20s to date and to really enjoy, to travel, to build my career. And I felt that sex and sexuality was part of that. Dating and finding out like what the kinds of people you even want to date, how you like to be treated, and what I think is a nice date. And then, so why shouldn't you say to yourself, well, what do I want sexually? What do I like? I think it's now, and as some of us have daughters and or sons even, it's like I think it's something that we should talk about in a real healthy way, because it's dope. That is part of your wellness. That's part of how you feel like like balance. You ever had a boss you'd be like, she ain't getting none?
I mean,
Yes.
that is
true. People say that all the time.
I'm just saying, but like from a very human place, it is necessary to have that part. That part of your life shouldn't be voided out. And just the last thing, if it's absent from your life, maybe there's a challenge to make it present again in, not finding anybody, but like if it's, learning more about yourself and what you need in terms of pleasure, because I think it's really important and I think it's super, super healthy. That's all I want to say.
And on your wellness note, from what I understand, it helps your immune system. It helps your high blood pressure. I'm just saying, there are other reasons to engage, however you do the do.
That's right. One of my guy friends, one of my fitness brothers, he says, Nikki, you got to make sure you tell the ladies I said this. He sent me a DM when he saw that Leidy was coming on, and he says, you make sure you tell the viewers that sex is amazing. Sex, he said, I love that it's magic and sex is life. So he was like, he said, sex is a life. Not only is it producing life, but it gives you life. He started going through this whole, I pulled it up, this whole about endorphins and the wellness. And so I did tell him that I would make sure that a man put out there that he was watching what we were saying, and to let our viewers know that sex is a life. It's about, like Leidy said earlier, the producing Zion, but it's also, it gives you that wellness and life and vigor and getting the endorphins up. I know, just personally, we all know when, it's so funny when Crystal said, you all know that boss, you like, she ain't getting none. She a little upset. She a little tight. She's a little uptight. But we all know when those endorphins are flowing and you are getting some, you do. I walk up the Upper East Side a little bit lighter. I have a little bit more bounce in my step.
More bouncy, like.
I want to make a distinction with when we talk about sex. What kind of sex is available for you? Like, what are we talking about here? Because bad fucking sex sucks. So sometimes people may think that they're not into sex. Maybe you're just not into the sex that is available for you at this moment. What someone is giving you, what you're giving yourself, and then you put it on the umbrella of like sex, So we're so individual. Are you getting what you need? Do you know how to identify your fuck yes and your fuck no in the intimate space? And then from that space, you can say, I like it, I don't like it. But I think, honestly, a lot of people don't like sex because they're having shitty ass sex. And of course, you're not going to
That's a
want that. Who wants that?
Great point.
Point.
What do you do? Because I know a couple people that are not having good sex, but they love the person they're with, but they're having bad sex. And I was like, I can't get my head wrapped around
Tell
that.
them to schedule a consultation with Lady Dahiana.
I brag. That's when you hire me. Hello, But and we did this on the first show. Learning your erotic blueprint is a great tool. Like, that's why it's great sex is an inside job first, and then it gets influenced by whoever you're interacting with. And we're doing it backwards a lot of the times. We're trying to figure it out with another, and then come back within. And it always starts with you first. Your intention to go in, to own it, to surrender, to learn. It's your freaking responsibilities, not anyone else's. And then we're like disappointed and jaded because we're waiting for someone else to kind of like, this is not something you delegate. Delegate your laundry, your like get an assistant for like your for your website, but this is something that you need to own. And if you don't know what to do, that's when you get support. And we've talked about this before. There's a little bit of judgment in society around getting support in the erotic space, like there's something wrong. And now I'm like, whoever works with me, I'm like, oh my God, you're such a badass. Like, you're willing to get support. Fuck yeah, we need support, man.
Yes. I love that. Sex should not be delegated.
I wanted you, I don't know if you can go in any more detail, but the erotic blueprint, that would be great.
So I recommend to watch the, I didn't like it. It's a roadmap for your eroticism. So just learning what type of language do you speak. And then also learning what type of language your present or future lover is speaking. And when you at least identify that you're speaking different languages, then it gives you empathy, compassion, and then you have the energy to work on bridges. Okay, so you like this and I like that, which is a little bit of the kissing challenge. Do you like a slow kiss? Do you like a fast kiss? Do you like a kinky kiss? But it starts with figuring out who am I first, and then who am I with? And then, okay, what can we work with here? What is available for us? That's why I also don't believe in incompatibility. I believe in willingness. Are you willing to learn my language? Yeah. Or, okay, you're not, then we're incompatible.
Right. That's great advice. Isn't that great?
Are you willing to love my? Are you willing to learn my language? And if not, okay, we're incompatible, and be okay with that.
And there's nothing wrong with them. Become incompatible, though. That's interesting, because if anybody's had bad sex at the very beginning, you probably are like, not doing that again, right? And to your point, are you willing to do the work?
Are you willing in yourself and with another? Like, my lover, his preference may not be my main preference. So then we have to see, how do we get him what he needs, get me what I need? How do we like mix and match? And, so it goes back to intention, right? If you have the intention to figure it out, you're going to fucking figure it out.
You sure
if you're like, oh no, I didn't do that.
And that's sexy in itself, right? Somebody being willing to do the work, not only for themselves so that they can help you understand them better, but to do it, to also find ways that you can communicate better together, have that understanding of the language you need to respond the way they want you to respond. That's really sexy.
That's where resentment is a turnoff killer, because then you're resentful that your lover is not willing to take 5 minutes to fucking do a kissing challenge with you. Like,
that is so on point.
Yeah. All right, you guys, I want to open up the floor to us as well, and then to our viewers.
Can you ask some more questions?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. I want to open the floor.
I'm only messing with you.
I want our viewers. We said, get your juicy question, and Leidy will answer that question. So that includes us as well, ladies, because sometimes there may be people at home that have a question, and maybe they're afraid to type it in, or they're like, and then I know we're really great at putting something out there and someone says, oh my goodness, I was thinking the same thing. Leidy, one of my friends is texting me, and they said, she just dropped the mic. Boom. So I just want to put that out there to you. So do we have any questions, ladies?
grab me now, because Zion's breastfeeding and he's like, calm. So go, 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 go.
That includes us. Nikki, you got a question?
No, but I'm thinking. So, but while I was thinking maybe Leidy could share some of the uncomfortable questions you've been asked that maybe somebody here is afraid to ask. Maybe we could start it off that way too. So, not to put you on the spot too.
I get so many uncomfortable questions. The range is just so I'll throw out a few topics and then you tell me which, for example, erectile dysfunction, coming too fast, women not orgasming.
Oh, I got one. Multiple orgasms. There are some people who do it like naturally and they like spray all over the place. I've heard about that. But I'm curious, how do you, somebody who doesn't orgasm multiple times, like you do it and then you're like, all right, I got to rest. And then you got to figure out a way to get me all excited again. Can you control that? And how do you do it?
Yeah. So there's something really beautiful called edging, which is that you take your orgasm on a wave, right? As opposed to a direct line from A to B. I don't know, I'm frozen.
We hear you.
No, you don't go frozen to us. As opposed to going from A to B, right? Direct line, you start, it just goes up, 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 you come. You take your pleasure on a wave of starting and stopping. And this takes some intention. So it's figuring out your pleasure level. So from 1 to 10, for example, I am going to take my pleasure to a 6, more or less. And when I get to that place, we're going to slow down. We're going to stop. We're going to maybe smoke a joint, take a drink. Then we're going to start again, right? And then I'm going to take my pleasure maybe to 8. That could be for him too. Maybe you give him a blowjob, whatever. You're at an 8. Okay, let's stop now. We can talk. And then that takes practice. It's a meditative, but it is a way to build a wave in sex. So it gives you time to kind of go back and forth. And with that, you could experience different levels of mini orgasm, massive. So that's a way to cultivate that. I recommend the book Come As You Are also for women. And this is just learning what are your accelerators and what are your brakes. What are the things that make you want to have sex and what are the things that prevent you from having sex, and how to manage that. So again, the more intentional you get, the more information you get from, okay, what's happening with me? Then you can sort of play this game of trial and error. And just, I know you mentioned spray everywhere. I don't know if you were talking about squirting, but I know that squirting is not necessarily an orgasm, and it could be a great party trick that people like want to do. Like I can't squirt, but I also have the best orgasms ever. So sometimes we get a little bit in our heads like, I don't squirt or I don't spray. You can have a freaking throatgasm while giving a blowjob. Like, has that ever happened to you? You know, or from tapping your nipples, you can get an orgasm, or from doing an ab exercise. So it's yeah. You can get a 6-pack and an orgasm. So intention, practice, and I recommend the concept of a wave instead of a straight line. And a good way to do this is make a playlist of different rhythms and try to follow the rhythm of the playlist.
Oh, that's a great idea.
So you don't have to like dictate anything while it's happening. It's a slow song, we go slow. It's a fast song, we go hard, or or different blueprints with each song. And that could be like a little play lab, a good Valentine's date type of idea. Hey, let's rock to this playlist and see what happens.
That's awesome.
That's a great idea.
Brenda Braxton.
Okay, I have a question.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna do Brenda's real quick, Shani. Brenda says, how do you not feel guilty about taking too long to climax?
That's a good question.
Thank you. That's a beautiful question. And that was actually my biggest challenge. On a very deep level, this is a big question around self-worth and receiving. Do I feel worthy enough to take up space? Do I feel worthy enough to ask for more time? What is it about me taking up space that makes me either uncomfortable or guilty? So that's such a beautiful question, because that is deep rooted in worthiness, in receiving, in allowing. Why is it okay for me to take time for him or her? So I think that's a good journaling question. What is it about taking up space that makes you feel uncomfortable or guilty? And that, you know, that's a big journey to go on, and a beautiful one as well.
I love it. Go ahead, Shani.
Lady, how did you? What would be a recommendation of yours to a couple that, you know, may have just had a child or have had a long a period of time that they just kind of, you know, work and life has taken them, separated them, and their intimacy has kind of shifted, and now like trying to get back into your like natural rhythm, I guess, is a question. Like what is like a first step of getting back into like your natural rhythm after things have kind of pulled you away?
I love that. So I repeat things a lot. It always starts with you first. So first I would go into, what does sex mean for me now? Or, you know, what does my pleasure mean? I know when I got pregnant, I couldn't stand my lover's breath. There was something about smells. And this was heartbreaking for me, because I love making out with him, and it was something that I couldn't control and he couldn't control. It wasn't like bad breath. It was like hormones, and just, so sex in the front became a turnoff for me. Making out, being touched in the front, it was like, ah. So we had to redefine how to enter into my erotic space. And it started with, you know what, if you give me a back massage, I don't feel that invasion of that smell. Okay, so we started playing with that, and eventually went into anal play and all that. We got deep. But asking yourself first, what am I available for? Maybe I'm no longer available for penetration, or what am I open for? Self-question. And then a beautiful exercise to do with your lover. And Chandra, we can maybe just do one back and forth. I can say, tell me something about your sexuality now so I can better understand you. My answer can only be thank you, or clarify that. This is not a conversation. This is just to like verbally process. And we go back and forth. So for example, Chandra, tell me something about your sexuality now in your current beautiful state so I can better understand you.
Now I am really open to, I used to be very like, let's hit it and get it. Now I'm like, let's take it slow and, you know, light the candles, play the music, like set the ambiance. Like that is a really, really, really extreme difference from like I'll say having kids and not having kids. Like, you know, easy to just, you know, at any moment just be like, let's go. Now it's like, let's set the atmosphere, you know. And it doesn't have to be every time, but majority it's more like, let's foreplay. And I never was a foreplay person at all. I would just be like, come on, let's just hit it and quit it, you know, type person. But now I'm more of the foreplay and like, you know, being more the real words behind what intimacy is, like really getting to know you, like being okay with just cuddling for a little while, or, you know, just being in with each other, not necessarily having to be in sexually intimate, just all the other things that come before sex.
I would only say thank you. And then you would ask me the question. So you get it? We don't like pick at it. We don't. And we just, and that gave you a moment to just express. And if I may say, that also sounds like your blueprints change. You went from sexual to now having a sensual blueprint as your primary, which doesn't mean that your libido changed. It's just your entry point was different. So this is a good exercise. Let's do 5 minutes of discussion back and forth, not explaining, just kind of verbally processing. And you'll be surprised after 5 minutes what comes up, you know. And Nikki, I think we did this before. Yeah. Does that serve you?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Ironically, more conversation can improve your sex life. You
I mean, I guess that's the through line with life, huh? Communication.
But it's such a, I said this before, the biggest flaw in communication is, that is actually happening. I'm totally butchering the quote. Like, we think we're communicating and we're just speaking different languages, you know?
Right. Ooh, I have to say that, I don't know about anybody else, but I feel like you just brought a whole calmness over this entire conversation. Like almost from a, not that I'm about to cry, but but just a whole holistic feeling just now about this entire conversation. And I thank you for that. I don't know if it was stemmed by Sean.
Made it beautiful.
Yeah, it just made the whole thing.
It made it
Beautiful and endearing and magical almost. That's what it feels like right now. I personally, I think we all feel this way. Love you. And so congratulations on everything with you and your move and your family. And I really, I remember when you first came on our show, and yeah, it was a different topic, but I really feel a difference in you. Like, we think you're absolutely amazing. And I just feel like your amaze balls just went here, just with, and maybe it's the experience with being a mom, but I feel like I'm about to cry.
Well, please cry. I want to cry too. I cry all the time. It's great. It's like
there's a real togetherness and calmness and beauty that you have just brought in this space. And I thank you for that.
Yeah. I thank you too.
Yeah.
It's you're very connected to the soul. Mm-hmm. And that's what we do here.
Yes.
Right. That's, I know there's different languages, but our language, we speak soul speak here, right? And you're very connected to what, that connection of sex and pleasure is soul work.
It is.
Your time now, I mean, so we're going on, over 2 years. So what we've seen, we consider you to be a friend and a sister. Mm-hmm. So we're witnessing like your evolution too in this. And I was wondering, Nikki talks about this often when she talks about Billy's accident and what it did for her. It made her a better trainer, she says, right? Because then she could understand what her clients were saying about maybe, what do you say, Nikki? Like maybe emotional eating or, just different things, right? So it's like now you're advising women, you were coaching women or couples that didn't have, and you didn't have a child. Now you have a child. And you're glowing, you're growing, your soul is like, you think I knew what I was talking about before? You giving us all of that. Like you're giving us like,
and I have to say it, I wanted to sign up with you before. Like now it's like, the attraction was real before. Now there's something that you have just spent in this last couple minutes that's so attractive and so wanted and needed. And I say all of this to say too, if you are looking to work with Lady Dahiana, you can follow her on Instagram at Lady Dahiana Coaching. Lady, let everyone else know too where they can find you if they're not on Facebook. Where else can they find you?
And
Yeah,
what do
so
you have going on too?
Yeah.
yeah, so it'll be Instagram, Lady Diana Coaching, and then, but the beautiful thing about Facebook is that I have that Mind Blowing Monogamy private group. And by the way, the kissing challenge is back, so we're doing round 2. It's already day 3. So if you want to come and check out just some different kisses over there, and but I do want to say thank you for what you all say at the end. It's been a rebirth, and I really dove into the feminine and receiving and being softer, and forgiving myself for crying and being imperfect and whatever it is. So the level of self-love has had to go so much higher, because I have the appreciation for what it means to be a mom. I'm in awe of women now. I'm so lucky to be among you all. I am honored. This is my favorite place to come, by the way. Nika was like, "You want to come?" I'm like, "It doesn't matter. I'm gonna have Zion. I'll figure it out." Like, so.
Well, I'm appreciating learning from your own personal journey and how you're self-discovering in action the things that had to change. That even for somebody like me who has it, like I could have benefited from it years ago. My daughter is like 19 now. But even now, those are the things that we're missing and not doing, putting, employing intention in this space, the micro dosing. I mean, it's really just, it's been very helpful. And, I just appreciate you allowing us to be a part of your very real and honest space of how you're evolving too, where we can benefit from it. So thank you.
Yeah. Listen, lady, all I can think about is we had a great conversation just before Zion got here.
Oh my God, Lachelle, you were such a gift. That was such a gift.
It was beautiful. And now I see this elevation that you were looking forward to, right? And prepping to receive. And now you are elevated even more. And I want to thank you just for bringing that to us and everyone who's with us and watching this, because just seeing it, feeling it, hearing it starts to open up us more towards where we need to open up for our own pleasure and creativity and soul connectedness. So thank you so much.
Lady, real quick, we're about to wrap up. Do you have time for one more question?
I love talking about
Brenda has one more question, and I know that we have women of all walks of life on our show, so I want to say this. Lady has so many questions, but what would you suggest for women going through menopause who are hormonal and not knowing how to handle their new libido or lack of libido?
Yeah. So it's funny because also postpartum can be a period where women get dry and libido changes. So I think the beautiful thing about this question is that any changes in a woman's life, any big changes, it could be anything. It could be stress. I know sometimes we're looking for like the new shiny solutions to everything, but I think from the beginning we've set intention, communication, maybe doing this journaling a little bit about what does pleasure mean for me right now. Is it that I enjoy more of a massage, or like, what brings me joy, what brings me pleasure? And as always, everything is holistic. What's happening in my entire life, in my relationship? So sometimes our libido goes down and there's so many things happening and we just think that it's about sex. Are you happy with your job? Are you happy with your relationships? Do you feel on purpose? So just looking around and getting really curious about what other things could be happening here. Because this is something that I teach my clients, that there's blocks to pleasure, and they could be hormonal, they could be emotional, they could be physical, they could be a combination. So I would say become a detective of you, and not just call it menopause, but how is menopause manifesting in my life? And what's a way that I can begin to add a microdose of pleasure? Doesn't have to look sexual. So just something that makes you feel good. And that's the entry point, I believe, to cultivating something, a little bigger, because I don't think that menopause is just like a stamp, same as giving birth or anything. I feel like if you're intentional and you're getting curious, there's always a way to squeeze in pleasure one way or another and grow it from there.
I love.
Y'all better get y'all some Leidy honey.
Y'all better get
y'all need to book her. Book her.
You can go to Instagram at Leidy Dahiana Coaching. Is there an email, Leidy, I can give to the people?
Yeah, LeidyDianaCoaching@gmail.com. And I brag. Bragging is also something that I would love to bring more here, and we didn't have a chance to talk about. Bragging, celebrating as women. I'm not working with a lot of people because I ain't got time. You know, I need to have a great sex life to spend a lot of time with Zion. So if you want to get me hot with these witchy, earthy, feminine vibes, I brag, get me now, because there's only 2 spots left for, you know, I want to work very intimately and devote myself to 2 women or 2 couples, because my energy is limited and I don't want to be in so much pleasure. So I'm just working less now.
I love that.
That's beautiful.
I love it. And I as we wrap up, I want to highlight a couple things that you said. Definitely setting the intention, setting the intention, the communication. But the one thing, and it's the reason why we started this show, it starts with you first. It starts everything. It starts with you first. Starts with you first. Leidy Dahiana, we love you. You know you're going to be back.
I want to come back more times. I want to just talk about everything.
Definitely.
I love you all so much.
We love you.
We love you.
Again,
and
everybody.
Thank you for sharing Zion with us.
Yes, Zion. We're
so.
Wait, I got caught off a little bit, but by the way, I love your intro. I saw it for the first time and I'm like, what?
Oh, thank you.
We're elevating.
It's so hot. It's so sexy. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, sorry. That's it. We're done.
Everybody want to get in touch, want to work with Leidy, LeidyDianaCoaching@gmail.com. You can also follow her on Instagram at Leidy Dahiana Coaching. Those of you guys that are on our mailing list, I will also put this in our notes for you all. I'm telling you, she is amazing. All of these ladies on screen are amazing. You are amazing. Leidy, is there anything? I'm going to give you the last word. Anything you want to say to our viewers before we close out?
How can you make today 1% more pleasurable?
Yes.
And that's it. How can you make today 1% more pleasurable?
Credit to my coach, Marissa, who's always talking about microdosing.
We love you, everyone. You ladies stay on. I'm going to close out the show. Remember, keep following us, the Ladies First Chit-Chat crew, Leidy Dahiana Coaching. We will see you next Saturday. Bye, everybody.
Who's first? Leidy. Who's first? Leidy. Who's first? Leidy. What time is it? It's time for the ladies. You want. Be great. Speak what you want. Be great. Speak what you want. Be great. And we're up first. Bonjour, unboxed. Bonjour, unboxed. Bonjour, unboxed. And we're up first. Yes, ladies. That's dope. Yes, ladies. That's dope. Yes, ladies. That's dope. And we're up first. It's time for the ladies. Ladies, Chit-Chat crew. One time for the ladies in the house. Two time make the people scream and shout. Lachelle, Chandra, Crystal with Nikki. On Boss, Ed, May, and Nikki. L-A-D-E-I-E-S, and we're up first.